What's poppin', homies? It's your favorite homegirl, Gossip Girl, and today I want to come in and give you an update on the Heather Mack case, aka the suitcase killer. Okay, so we're gonna get right on into that. Now, newly freed suitcase killer Heather Mack was indicted on murder conspiracy charges in the U.S. on Wednesday and taken into federal custody as soon as she landed back home in Chicago. Now, Mack, 26 years old, had only walked free from a Bali prison on Friday after serving 7 years of her 10-year sentence for helping murder her socialite mother, who was found stuffed in a suitcase in August of 2014. Now, after being deported from the Indonesian island, her plane touched down at Chicago's O'Hare International Airport on Wednesday morning, where she was met by FBI agents who took her straight into custody. The feds had ordered her to fly to Chicago and not Los Angeles, where she hoped to go, and agents then met her at Terminal 5 as she stepped off her Delta Airlines flight. Now, Mack, who was 18 and pregnant with her mom, Sheila Von West, Mack, 62 years old, was murdered, okay? And she was charged with 2 counts of conspiracy to commit murder in a foreign country, according to an indictment unsealed Wednesday. Her ex-boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, who was convicted of murder in Indonesia, is still serving an 18-year sentence there, was indicted on the same charges. They were both also charged with obstruction of justice for allegedly plotting the murder in both Chicago and Bali. Now, Mack is expected to have an initial hearing at the Dirksen Federal Courthouse later on Wednesday. She faces life in prison if convicted of the murder conspiracy charges, or up to 20 years for the obstruction one. So she was supposed to serve 10 years in Bali, but she got out on an early release in good behavior. So she only served, I think, 6 or 7 years there. So she was coming back to the U.S., okay? She was coming back. She wanted her daughter to stay in Indonesia, in Bali, but they said, nope, she's getting deported right with you. So her and her daughter name is Stella, came back to Chicago. And when she came back to Chicago, the feds was waiting for her, like, okay, you done touchdown. We are here to come collect and let's go. And the sad thing is that her daughter's going to get old enough and read about what she did to her grandmother. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. So now, if she's convicted here, she can get life in prison or up to 20 years for obstruction. The 5-page indictment accuses the pair of a series of overacts, including leaving Chicago for Bali in early August of 2014, exchanging messages on how to kill Mack's mom, and then actually killing her. The murder made international headlines in 2014 when Sheila Mack's badly beaten body was found in a suitcase inside the trunk of a taxi parked at the upscale St. Regis Bali Resort. Mack and Schaefer, were then 21, were arrested a day later at a hotel about 6 miles away and were convicted in 2015. Mack was released from prison early for good behavior and reunited with her 6-year-old daughter that she gave birth to in prison. Now, there has been questions about the case since at least 2016, when one of Schaefer's cousins pleaded guilty to helping to plan the killing in exchange for $50,000 from Mack's expected inheritance. The cousin was sentenced the next year to 9 years in prison. In 2017, it was reported that the court documents revealed the FBI was investigating whether others were involved in the conspiracy to kill Sheila Mack. I don't know. It doesn't look too good for her here, but we're just going to have to see what happens. If she's going to serve time, she's going to do something here. You know, she's going to do something here. They must have something else to stick to her. So, we don't know. But I will be following this case. I will be following this case. I mean, she helped kill her mom. Like, this is crazy. Now, when she got released from Bali prison, you know, Heather Mack told the Post, is that I really miss my mom, and everything in Chicago will remind me of her. She said in an exclusive interview, I'm sure it would be very confronting because I think of her every day and deeply regret what happened. Well, you're only regretting it because you got caught. If you would have never got caught, you guys would have been living it up on that money and you wouldn't have any remorse. But the fact that 80 is either 82 or 86 calls of domestic violence came from her household before her mother had died, with her punching her mom in her broken ankle, with her breaking her mother's arm, basically beating her mom and just doing all types of stuff to her. So I don't think she's remorseful. You know, I think she's remorseful because she got caught in this. She has a daughter, and her daughter's going to find out one day what she and her boyfriend, or her and her father, did to their grandmother. You know, she also said she dread returning to her hometown of Chicago. Why? Because you know that they're going to pick you up at the airport. You know you're not going to live a free life once you get to Chicago. You're not going to live a free life. The things that you want to do with your daughter, like homeschool her and stuff, I don't think she's going to get a chance to do that. Now, while she was in, prison in Bali, she had her daughter in prison, but she also let her daughter stay by, but she had to live with some foster parents in Bali. But she was reunited with her daughter, and she wanted her daughter to stay back, but they deported both of them. This is horrible. She also says she hopes to dedicate the next chapter of her life to Stella and dismisses any ideas of dating or finding a job for at least 6 months. Dating is the last thing on my mind, she told the Post. My priority is to settle Stella with me and get into a good routine. She will be educated remotely by the school that she has attended in Bali. She is already familiar with homeschooling because of the, virus lockdowns and stuff. I will be in close communication with the Bali school. Stella loves to dance and paint, so I'll consider following up those activities once we are back in America. Keeping her daughter out of school is also part of Mack's plan to protect her from TV cameras. Stella is not prepared for the press bombarding us, so I will defend her from the media and keep her right out of the spotlight, says Heather. I have told Stella that we are going on a vacation and she is prepared and excited for that. She remains blissfully unaware of the murder, which is as it should be for a child. But it's not going to be like that for long, because she's going to get to a point when she's going to get older and she's going to know what you've done. These people, see, Heather and her boyfriend Tommy at the time didn't think. She was pregnant. She wanted to keep the baby. So she was really like lashing out at her mom and all types of stuff. But her mother was still spoiling her, still giving her money, still taking her on trips, still giving her whatever she wanted after Heather even abused her. Okay? So now they get over there in Bali and Tommy murders her. But Heather helps Tommy put her own mother in a suitcase. And she's pregnant while all this is going on. I mean, It's crazy. Oh boy. She also says that about 5 or 6 friends have been supportive, she said. They have sent me pictures and images of special events with captions like, "Wish you were here," and that brightened up her days. I have been in contact with my dad's side of the family who have supported me. They live in Texas, and I look forward to introducing Stella to her family. Now, her father was a famous jazz arranger, conductor. His name was James L. Mack. And mother raised Mack in a $1.5 million Renaissance-style mansion in a ritzy Oak Park, and that's the suburbs of Chicago. Now, James, who had been in poor health, suffering from stage 4 colon cancer and diabetes, and confined to a wheelchair, died of a pulmonary embolism during a 2006 family vacation in Athens, Greece. Now, Sheila left her husband's corpse in the Athens morgue, where she cruised off to the island of Santorini with a traumatized 10-year-old Heather in tow. So, the mother, okay, like I said in my last video, they on a vacation. James, Sheila, and Heather were on a vacation together. He dies from an embolism, but her husband's corpse is in a morgue in Athens, okay, while she cruised off to the island of Santorini with her daughter. You know, this is when the seed of anger was planted, Heather said. I wanted to go home, and Mom drank wine by the sea and complained to her friends that my dad had died. Mack has recently expressed remorse for the murder, telling the Post a few months ago, "I absolutely regret what happened. I love my mom, and I still do." So, I don't know. It's just really, really sad. Like, my thing is, I would like to know how Sheila was as well, because at one point, Sheila was not letting James Mack, older children, get in contact with him. And like I said in my last video, she would turn the lights off so they couldn't contact him or anything. So I think Sheila has some stuff going on with her too. And it just also trickled down to Heather. And I think Heather and her mother are both messed up in the head. Well, Sheila was messed up in the head. But it doesn't excuse or doesn't give Heather the right to murder her mother the way she did. Well, she didn't murder her mother. Her boyfriend murdered her mother, but she was there as well. So she's an accomplice to the murder. And she helped her boyfriend, Tommy Schaefer, stuff her mom into a suitcase. Okay? But I do think there was something not right with Sheila as well. I don't know, but from what I was reading, you know, Sheila and Heather didn't have the best of relationships at all. But what was on Sheila's mind, or what was her problem, so for her to keep James away from his other children? That right there, I would love to know. And I might do some digging to try to find out. Well, anyway, you guys, that's all I have for you on this case. As more starts to unravel, I will talk about it some more. But you tell me, how do you feel about all of this? How do you feel about the feds snatching her up as soon as she got off that plane from Bali? And how do you think this is going to affect her daughter in the long run? Do you think she will ever have a chance to have a normal life with her daughter Stella? Okay, so I will talk to you guys later. Y'all have a good one.